Welcome everybody to Geek Dad Reports Comics You Crave. I'm Brian West.
I'm Ryan Thomason.
And tonight we're going to be reviewing a new comic from Image, Gideon Falls #1.
Yes, so the story is by Jeff Lemire. The art and cover by Andrea, sorry, I don't know. Sorrentino. Sorrentino. Sorry. And it was actually published on March 7th, so it's been out for 2 weeks now, 1 week.
Yeah, and it's so popular. I think the Image actually just reprinted it.
Yeah, they've already done a second printing. So, and it is an age rating of a M for mature.
Don't let the kids read this one unless they like hooks. Unless they like old lady hooks stuck through their chest.
Yeah, and definitely not a kid's comic book, but we're not children, and we don't read comic books for children. So,
well, we have in the past.
Yes, we have. So this one is about an obsessed young man who is finding conspiracy theories in trash
and nails,
and pieces of wood and nails,
collecting them.
There's like an old barn
and an old priest and a dead priest,
and like a weird priest,
and a couple different towns.
But even though we're talking about it like we're confused, it was still pretty damn entertaining.
Yeah, it's definitely got a little bit of that. It's definitely got a little bit about of the mystery box feel to it. So don't let our lack of insight into this fool you. It's a good comic. It's just we don't want to give away too much because there's a lot as the story starts to build. What are we going to give away? I mean, it's very like by the end of this, you're still not sure what's going on. You basically just know that it's a tale of good versus evil. I don't know if they're going to go like supernatural. It seems like it has that feel that it may be something supernatural, especially since they're bringing in the priests and some of that. But I don't know. Do you think this is going to be a horror comic, or do you think this is going to be a supernatural or a sci-fi? I don't know what kind of comic this is going to be. It feels very horror-ish, like it's going to be horror.
I have a feeling it's going to go to the horror, but like a light kind of horror, but more supernatural route. Because it seems like the Black Barn is kind of showing up in like different places.
And the artwork in this, I'll give you guys a little preview of this. Here's your cover, if you guys can see that, which is pretty cool, right? But you start scrolling into it, and it's not upside down. This is the way it is, and it's very. The artwork tells a story.
A lot of black and grays.
Look at this. So the artwork in this is literally my favorite part of this comic. The story is very strong, but it complements the artwork. I mean, look at that page.
Look at that bottom panel with him in the mask. It's really well done.
This is some of the best artwork I've seen that mirrors the story, right? So... I don't know. It's just beautiful. I mean, like I said, that page, that looks like a painting. The way it's all laid out, I can't rave enough about how much I enjoyed visually reading this comic book. It really pops. I mean, my iPad here on the screen does not give it justice. This is one that I actually kind of wish I had the copy in my hand and I was able to slowly pay. Every now and then you read a comic book that feels more like a piece of artwork than it does actually a comic book. And I feel like this would be one of them. I almost kind of want to go buy the copy itself just to have it, right, and look at it.
Well, let's not take away. I mean, the artwork doesn't take away from the story.
No, it doesn't. It complements it.
I mean, the story is very intriguing. I want to see where it goes. Mm-hmm. It's one of those ones though that if at the end of the issue you're like, damn it, I wish I had the next issue right now because I want to figure out like what's going on.
It lays some groundwork but doesn't really tell you much. So I'm not going to say it's a downside to this comic because clearly it's telling a larger story. Jeff clearly has the story mapped out and he knows where it's going. It has the feel of a part one of a 12-part or 16-part story.
Yes.
But it's a little frustrating, but by the end you don't really know anything at all. One of the main characters, at least you think it's a main character, may or may not be suffering from a psychotic break. And then you have a priest who may or may not be seeing things, who may or may not be right in the middle of some supernatural event, and there's some black barn that ties them all together, and that's about all you know by the end of this.
Yes, and I mean, I'm intrigued.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to give this at least, a 3 or 4 issues until they collect in the first trade paperback. And for my recommendation, I think, I don't want to say this, but I think that you should wait until the first trade paperback. It seems like it's a comic that it'll make a lot more sense when you get a whole arcing story.
Yeah. I could see the fact. I could see this as a comic that maybe month to month you get a little bit lost in what's that's going on, but I think this is definitely one that I feel like it's gonna be like a Netflix series, right? It's gonna be better binge read versus waiting a month at a time. That being said, if you're really into artwork, I do think this is worth buying just for the artwork and the alone. It's like I said, I've been raving about it this entire review. I think it's beautiful. I think it'd add I think it would add something to your collection if you're a collector. And it is a good story that is worth reading. It's just by the end of it, you're like, I'm not sure what quite happened. So if you want to take a risk on a comic that has a little bit of a creepy vibe to it, by the end of this, you get a little bit of a hair tingling kind of in the back of your neck because it feels kind of creepy. But you're okay with not knowing everything, then buy this comic. It's worth owning just for the visuals alone. But it is a good story. We definitely recommend you check it out at some point, whether you wait till the collected edition or go ahead and pick up the first issue. But if you want to, it's on sale now online or at your local comic book.
Yes, and if you're like me, and this would be a comic that you kind of need to binge read, wait until the first arc comes out. We will definitely keep our eye on this one, and we'll try and maybe do a review of the first arc. So then,
first story, first 4 or 6 issues.
Try and get some more comprehension on the story. I'm definitely going to be following it. I'm not saying don't read it.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you're like me, I gotta have the whole thing because I gotta know what's happening. I gotta binge. I gotta get through it all.
All right. Well, there you go. Check it out at some point, definitely.
Yes. So, all right. Gideon Falls #1.
Yeah, available now. Thanks. Thanks everybody for watching, and as always, stay awesome.
Stay nerdy, everyone.